North America and Concacaf has produced some incredible players over the years. Hugo Sanchez, Landon Donovan, Rafa Marquez, and now we have players like Alphonso Davies being one of the best in his position. So today we're going to make the best Concacaf team that we could possibly put together and then see how that team does in some of the most toughest leagues around the football world. But before we do any of that, we have to make the team first. To make our squad as competitive as possible, we're going to take the two best players for each position. That means 2 goalkeepers, 2 right backs, 2 left backs, 4 center backs, 4 central midfielders, 2 cams, 2 right midfielders, 2 left midfielders, and 2 strikers. And that was a lot to say. For the purpose of this video and experiment, we're going to be using Toronto FC and MLS side. That's going to be our Concacaf team. So we're going to begin with our 2 goalkeepers. And of course, the starting goalkeeper, it has to be Keylor Navas, right? 85 rated, an absolute legend from Costa Rica. And Keylor Navas's backup is another absolute legend. It is Guillermo Ochoa from Mexico. Now, I understand he's 38 years old, but he's still 81 rated, and he plays for Salernitana. He's still quality. Moving into the right back position, and the starting right back is another clear-cut choice, isn't it? It is going to be Serginho Dest, the American, the former Ajax, Barcelona, and AC Milan man. Now he's on loan at Feyenoord. I mean, he's fast, he's quick, he's got good potential, and he's rated 76. But the backup right back is a Canadian. It is Alistair Johnston. Yeah, he's made some huge strides over the last year or so. He actually recently signed for Celtic. He's 25 years old, and he's 75 rated. He's a pretty decent backup. From goalkeepers and right backs to now center backs, where we need 4 center backs, 2 starting center backs and 2 backup center backs. And our 2 starting center backs are going to be the Mexican Cesar Montes and the Jamaican Ethan Pinnock that plays for Brentford. Both Pinnock and Montes are rated 77 and 79, so I think we're making a pretty decent backline so far. And the 2 backup center backs right behind Pinnock and Montes are both going to be American. The first one is Walker Zimmerman, who spent his entire career in the MLS, but he started a lot of games internationally for the United States. And the other one is going to be Cameron Carter-Vickers, former Tottenham man. He's more of like a journeyman. He spent a lot of times in the Premier League. He spent some time in the Championship, and now he plays at Celtic. And they're both 76 rated, so it's not too bad of a drop-off. And in our left back position, the starting left back, I mean, there's only one clear-cut choice, isn't there? It's got to be the Canadian Alphonso Davies. Fonzie, probably the best left back in the world right now, plays at Bayern Munich, plays internationally for Canada. He's fast, he's explosive. I mean, this dude can do everything. Seriously, this back line with Alphonso Davies is looking sick. But even Alphonso's backup in the left back position is still quality. It's the American Anthony Robinson, who plays his football at Fulham. There's just no way, though, that Anthony Robinson is starting over Alphonso Davies. Not a chance. Moving into the midfield, where we need 4 midfielders slash 4 defensive midfielders. And the first one is going to be, I mean, it has to be Edson Alvarez from West Ham, doesn't it? The Mexican Edson Alvarez. West Ham bought him from Ajax for about 40 million this summer. He was a direct replacement for Declan Rice, and he's been very, very good for them all season so far. And I mean, West Ham is looking good in the Premier League as well, and it's all thanks, well, a lot of thanks goes to Edson Alvarez. He is definitely starting for us, and he's going to be paired up with a Canadian that plays his football in Portugal for Porto, and that is Steven Eustachio. I think this would be a solid combination in the midfield. You have Edson Alvarez and Steven Eustachio just bossing that midfield. Both are decently rated at 77 and 81. And the 2 backup midfielders behind Alvarez and Eustachio are both going to be American, just like our backup center backs. The first one is going to be Tyler Adams from Bournemouth, 78 rated. Some quality coming off the bench. He can definitely do the job. And the other one is the Juventus man who was on loan at Leeds last year, and that is Weston McKennie, and he's 76 rated. I mean, this squad is shaping up quite nicely. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't mind having Adams and McKennie as backups to come on for Eustachio and Alvarez. Okay, let's move on to some of the more exciting positions on the field. Let's go to right mid slash right wing, and there's only one man for the job, really. It is Hirving Lozano, the former Napoli man. Now he went back to PSV. I mean, he's spent a lot of his time at Napoli. He did a lot of good things for Napoli. He is 81 rated. He's pacey. He's fast. He's from Mexico. This is our guy on that right-hand side. But Lozano's substitute is actually no slouch either. The right-hand side is kind of stacked for us. It's going to be the Jamaican Leon Bailey from Aston Villa. He's been very good at Aston Villa, very consistent. It's just hard to choose Lozano or Bailey. The only reason Lozano is really starting because, I mean, Bailey's just rated 2 points lower than Lozano. But other than that, I'd be okay with either one of them starting. From the right side to the left side, I mean, it's got to be Christian Pulisic on the left-hand side, doesn't it? The former Chelsea man now is thriving at AC Milan. American, yeah, it's going to be Christian Pulisic. He will be starting. He's 79 rated. And Christian Pulisic's replacement is also quality. It's going to be the Jamaican Demarai Gray, who played at Everton, but now he moved to Saudi Arabia. He's still very, very good, though, 77 rated, and he's very fast. Now, we got two positions to fill, and that is the cam position and the striker position. And I like the shape of the squad so far. It's a mixture of players from all over the place. We have some Mexican players, we have some Jamaican players, we have some players from the USA starting, and we even have some Canadian players starting. And speaking of Canada, there's a big match happening in Canada this Saturday on October 28th, and it is in the Canadian Premier League, and it's the Canadian Premier League final, lads. Now, where can you watch the Canadian Premier League final? Well, the broadcaster OneSoccer has the rights to the Canadian Premier League, so you can watch it exclusively on the OneSoccer app or on the web at OneSoccer.ca this Saturday, October 28th at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you tune in. If you want to see some exciting Canadian talent, maybe there's another Alphonso Davies in the making. You don't want to miss this match. It's the final. There's a lot on the line. Tune in this Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on OneSoccer. So let's move on to the final two positions of our squad, and the first position is going to be the cam position, and we're going to have to take Giovanni Reyna, aren't we? The American Borussia Dortmund player. He's young, but he's 78 rated, and I think this is a perfect combination for Lozano on that right-hand side, Pulisic on that left-hand side, and Reyna down the middle. And Reyna's backup in that cam position is going to be another American youngster. It's going to be the FC Dallas man, Jesus Ferreira. He's 76 rated, and I think he's a solid backup. Okay, lads, you know how I said we're going to have two players for each position? I cheated for the striker position, and I took three strikers because I didn't know which one to leave out. Now, our main striker is going to be the Canadian Jonathan David. He's 81 rated. He plays at Lille, and he's been linked to pretty much every single Premier League and Bundesliga and La Liga and Serie A club out there. He's a very, very good player and one of the best players on this team. But the two substitutes, I couldn't decide which one to drop, so I had to take both of them. The first one is the Mexican Santiago Jimenez, who plays at Feyenoord. He's 79 rated, and he has 12 goals in 8 matches for Feyenoord this year. 12 goals in 8 matches. And the third striker is the former Arsenal man, Folarin Balogun, who now plays at Monaco. I don't even know why Arsenal got rid of him, to be honest with you. I think that was a mistake. I think they should have gotten rid of Nketiah and kept Balogun, because Balogun is quality. So now that we know our final Concacaf team and our final product, it is time to put this team to the challenge. And the first challenge on the list for this Concacaf team is the Premier League. How is this team going to perform over one full season in the Prem? All right, lads, the Premier League season is over. How did Toronto FC, aka the Concacaf All-Stars, do in the Premier League? Honestly, I would think a top 10 finish would probably be above expectations. I don't think they'd get relegated, but you can't expect this team to win the Prem. And yeah, Toronto FC, aka the Concacaf All-Stars, finished in 8th, 18, 8, and 12 on 62 points, only 1 point behind Spurs and 4 points behind Arsenal. They also scored 51 goals, while our main striker Jonathan David had 13 goals in 31 matches in the Premier League. Quite impressive, actually, tied with Luis Diaz and Odegaard at Arsenal. But Mohamed Salah ran away with it, 24 goals in 38 matches. And what's Nicholas Jackson doing up there? He doesn't score goals. Little Chelsea low blow there. Overall, quite a good season for a CONCACAF team in the Prem. They did better than I expected. From the Premier League to the Bundesliga, our CONCACAF All-Stars are going to be taking on the likes of Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund. See how they would do in the Bundesliga. I think it's kind of the same standard. Maybe, I mean, a top 7, top 6 finish would be impressive. I definitely don't think they're getting relegated, but I also don't think they're winning the league. The Bundesliga season has come to an end. Let's go and find out how Toronto FC, aka the CONCACAF All-Stars, fared in the Bundesliga. All right, I don't see them. I don't see them. Oh my gosh! Excuse me! 3rd place, right behind Bayern Munich and Leipzig. They beat out Leverkusen and beat out Borussia Dortmund. 25-9 on 65 points, and they scored the 2nd most amount of goals in the league, only behind Bayern Munich. They scored 63. Bayern, though, dominated 83 goals in 34 matches. Man, this CONCACAF team is actually impressive. But it wasn't Jonathan David that led the way in scoring for the CONCACAF All-Stars. It was a combination of 2 players, Jesus Ferreira, the American, and the Jamaican Leon Bailey. They had 11 and 10. While in the assist category in the Bundesliga, it was again Jesus Ferreira that led the way for the CONCACAF All-Stars. He had had 6 assists, but the Canadian left back Alphonso Davies pitched in with 5. From the Bundesliga, our Concacaf All-Stars are traveling to France. Let's go see how they do against the likes of PSG and Lyon and Marseille and Monaco. The season in France is over, lads. How did our Concacaf All-Stars do against the French Giants? Well, let me tell you something. They won the league, lads. They won the league. The Concacaf All-Stars won Liga. They beat out PSG. Lens in 3rd. I'm speechless. Marseille in 4th. Lyon in 5th. TFC, Toronto FC, aka the Concacaf All-Stars, won the French League. 25-3-6 on 78 points. They scored 74 goals in 34 matches. This is insane. And Jonathan David on his return to France, lads. I mean, he plays in France. He knows how to score goals in France. He won the Golden Boot in France. 22 goals in 34 matches, lads. While Mbappe with PSG had a terrible season. He only had 14 goals in 30 matches. That is not Mbappe standard. A Canadian dominating the French League like that, that's very impressive, man. You gotta give it to Jonathan David. Speaking of Canadians, by the way, don't forget the Canadian Premier League final. It is happening on OneSoccer, October 28th, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to watch some young, exciting Canadian players play some incredible football or soccer, how we say it in North America, make sure you tune in to OneSoccer on October 28th for the Canadian Premier League final at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's go. I mean, we've done England, we've done Germany, and we've done France, where our Concacaf All-Stars won. We might as well do Spain. La Liga. How would this team, our Concacaf All-Stars, fare in La Liga? Real Madrid, Barcelona. There's a lot of good teams there, lads. I don't know how they would do. I think they would definitely stay up, but I don't know about winning like they did in France. I don't think that's gonna happen. All right, lads, the La Liga season has come to an end. Is there another impressive performance on the cards for our Concacaf All-Stars? Let's find out. And I would say, yeah, lads, another impressive performance by our Concacaf All-Stars in La Liga. They finished in 4th place, actually tied for 3rd with Barcelona. Barca just had the better goal difference. 18, 13, and 7, 65 goals for, 48 against. What is Getafe doing in 2nd place, though? And Real Madrid, they ran away with it. While in the scoring department, it was again Jesus Ferreira, the American, and the Jamaican Demarai Gray that led the way for the Concacaf All-Stars. Ferreira, 13 goals in 34 matches, and Gray chipped in with 10 and 31. Okay, if we're gonna do Spain, we gotta do Italy. We gotta do Serie A. We have to see how our Concacaf All-Stars do against the Italian giants. Juventus, AC Milan, Inter Milan, Napoli, Fiorentina, Lazio, Atalanta. I want to say they probably won't win, but we said that about France, and they went and won the league and beat out PSG. So let's go to the end of the season in Italy and see how they do. The season in Italy has come to an end. Are we gonna see another surprise from our Concacaf All-Stars? And yeah, we are. What can I say? This team is absolute quality. Napoli won the league, 82 points. Roma in 2nd, Inter in 3rd, and Toronto FC, aka the Concacaf All-Stars, in 4th. And they were only 3 points behind Napoli, who was in 1st place. They almost won the league, and they only conceded 37 goals in 38 matches and scored 66. 24, 7, and 7. That is ridiculous. And the American Jesus Ferreira was the leading scorer for the Concacaf All-Stars, 16 goals in 31 appearances. While Jonathan David had 11 goals in 19 appearances, and Demarai Gray had also 11 in 37 matches. So what can we say about the Concacaf All-Stars? Well, there's a bright future, isn't there? A lot of good players and a lot of good prospects. Jonathan David and Jesus Ferreira led the way offensively in this experiment. Alphonso Davies, the Canadian, also chipped in with some assists. Leon Bailey, the Jamaican, was also great. And as a team, they performed extremely well. A high place finish in the Premier League, a high place finish in the Bundesliga. They won Liga in France, another high place finish in Spain, and a high place finish in Italy. I want to show some love and say a big thank you to OneSoccer for making this video possible. And remember that the Canadian Premier League final is happening this weekend on October 28th at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you want to watch some exciting players play for everything, play for the title, play for the trophy, you can watch the game exclusively on OneSoccer, on the app, or on the website, OneSoccer.ca. Thank you guys very much for watching. As always, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, stay happy and stay healthy, keep smiling, and I'll see you guys in the next video. All right, peace, 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 peace.